Hello friends, what's going on? Hopefully everybody had a nice trading day so far. It's Friday, the last day of the week, and yeah, I just would like to go over today's trade recap. So I shared that one with you in the Discord channel. So let me just show it to you here one more time. So we're going to go over this trade recap. Why I went short here, why I took that BOS, why I didn't wait for the 1 minute BOS. So many things that we're going to go over in this video. I already explained it to you many times why I'm doing it like that. So I just seen that it's still a little bit confusing in the Discord. So we're doing this video to make it more clear. Also, more opportunities have been possible today, so I'm going to go over these one as well. And yeah, let's get it started. So I got here the daily importance right now, the daily, to understand that we're still bearish. Okay, probably we will go bullish, so that's my bias. My bias is that we will very soon see some strong move up, but still we need to expect price to drop down till it gets invalid. So here, more than likely, what we can see is this is the supply zone where we already wicked above it yesterday. So from the daily perspective, I'm not looking right now too detailed on this. I would just view this kind of things here, the whole wicks here, as liquidity, and I just view this because this is my real swing structure. I will see this as my bearish lag. Okay. So that's how I view it with this BOS down here. And we understand that we're reacting off of some crazy monthly demand zone, so this could push the price all the way to the upside. More interesting is going to be the 4 hours, because the 4 hours show us here a nice supply area, and this is exactly where price in reality tapped into it. Okay, so we understand we got this bearish swing structure here, and price could still follow bearish price action till it gets invalid. So you got right now here on the 4 hours a ton of liquidity. This is why price tapped into it. This is why price has given us that reaction. Plus what we understand, we got equal highs right up here, which means there are going to be definitely future targets. We just don't know when it will be target, because you could go easily lower and then just move on, and then using the liquidity to drop down lower. That's one possibility. That is what I share with you. Also possible is we move down like this, and then we just run the equal highs, and we will use it as buy liquidity, so we can just see a massive push to the upside, massive continuation. Okay, cool. So more than likely we broke this, right? So we got here a massive BOS. So here that was kind of the 4 hour bearish swing structure, which is right now broken. Now that is not too relevant for me. More relevant is always where we are currently, which is this. So price has successfully broke this structure, this higher low, and as you can see, this is how price in the past also developed. So we can see here BOS. And every single time when price has given us BOS, price just moved up higher and retested the demand zones. So that was here, demand zone, tap, demand zone, demand zone. Here was a little bit different, because here that's what I explained yesterday. We have here within this range, this is the 4 hour demand zone, demand range, because it's a little bit higher. You can use only the red candle, then it's really the demand zone. But what we identified here was an M15 demand zone, which is this one here. This is exactly that one where price reacted from, and this one mitigated this demand range, which makes this 4 hour demand zone already mitigated. This is the interesting part, because people would say, okay, this is still a target, and I would say not really. I would not consider this as a target right now, because I understand that this range is already mitigated, and this is why price went up like that. and this is right now not interesting for us anymore. Still, it could be in the future target this demand zone, so I will not say it's not possible or something, but this is why price still mitigated that range, at least because price needs to mitigate something in order to really continue to push in a way. I mean, we still have here these equal lows, which could be still a target for the market, but this is something which we're not dealing with right now because price right now is somewhere else. If price now will respect this, then of course it will go down and it will run these equal lows. If it's bearish, then yes, then we will need to keep an eye on the equal lows as well to see if we will see then a possibility like this, or if it will just continue to go bearish. That will be again a different story. So right now, important for us is just understand price on the 4-hour broke structure, and we are in this bullish range right now, and price can do whatever he wants within this range, and the outcome will be bullish. That's what we expect. Of course, it can be bearish, but we expect the bullishness, and the lower time frames, the mid time frames will show us anyway if price, what it will do, you know, so we will just follow that. Okay, cool. Then what we should mark here as well is, I'm deleting this because this is just confusing right now. We don't need that. We just need to understand, okay, we got demand zone, and that could be one of our targets where price could go. Also, what we can spot is something here. It's also interesting, hidden demand zones, okay? Probably in the lower time frames, you will see there something interesting. So keep that in mind as well. And then I go straight to the M15. Don't really want to follow right now 1 hour or something. For me, always the M15 is the one that I'm interested in. What you can see here as well is that price is currently, in reality, reacting off of the supply zone up here, which leaves us with more liquidity, and we could potentially mitigate something up there as well. And interesting for me will be then to see, okay, what price is doing the moment when we're about to open up the Frankfurt session. Boom. So 15 minutes before the Frankfurt session, so I have my eyes on the chart. I understand this could be here in this case my hidden demand zone or something, okay, where price could come. So more than likely, if you analyze the M15, you will understand that price broke your structure to the upside, and it broke structure immediately back down. Okay, so that means from here price went crazy down, so there is some institution. You need to understand it tapped into a supply zone, right? In a 4 hour. That 4 hour supply zone is here, refined to an M15, almost the wicks, you know, so it's the wicks, which is the real supply zone in this case, because this one as a whole is already mitigated. It's right now, of course, not the best supply zone, but this is why I don't like to trade the Asia, okay, because Asia always likes to use some kind of strange supply zone sometimes. However, for us, interesting and important is right now to understand, okay, it reacted off of it, and it led to a BOS, which means institutions really have the intention at that point to bring the price to the downside. And right now, we see price is reversing. So what it's doing in reality, it came up to mitigate this supply range. Okay, that's what it wants to do. And then it will decide, okay, are we going to push lower or not? Because what price did is here as well, it broke structure right back up. So you are in a very confusing situation because you don't know what you should do. You just understand on the 4 hours you made a BOS, which means you are already in the middle of nowhere. So you can expect at some point price to reverse, okay, to give you at least some sort of pullback. Then you come to the M15 to understand, okay, I will follow the bearish order flow in this case, because you understand, okay, BOS, you follow, and then it just gives you this move up, and it breaks everything to the upside. Now you need to understand that on the M15, this is your bearish substructure still, okay? So more than likely, you should expect this. You should not really expect now this, but you can expect that if you want. Important would be that the area where price is reacting from, which is this one, is an interesting demand zone. That will be relevant for us. Now here, guys, what we can look for is this is the 4-hour demand zone. That 4-hour demand zone looks already mitigated, to be honest. Looks like this one tapped into it, came up. You know, it's not a clean price action, I'm honest with you. So I don't know what to say here. I would just say this is more than likely my demand zone where I'm expecting price to come. Still, what I want to see is where is the Asia liquidity. Okay, probably the Asia liquidity will help me a little bit out here to understand what price is and what price is about to do. And this is what I did today as well. So I can spot here where price tapped into it that this is Asia liquidity here. So liquidity, and we just write here Asia. Okay, so this is Asia liquidity, what we can see here. Now price tapped into this range. Now you have right now here many possibilities what you can expect. First possibilities, you expect price to come into this supply zone, and only then you're going to go with a potential short trade. Okay, you also understand you are bullish here, so you are in a bullish substructure on M15, which means because of it broke this and it broke this, you should look more for a bullish setup, right? But we don't do that. We look for a short because we understand, hey, there is a supply zone right here, right? It's that one supply zone, which is the next one right above the Asia liquidity. This one is a little bit too far. This one could be already a mitigation of the range. Okay, so you can see how price gave you that one up move, and probably this up move here already mitigated the part of this range. Like this part of it is already mitigated at that point, and then price right now is just reversing to mitigate the next position of that one bank. So you always need to, sorry that I'm not, hopefully I'm not confusing right now here too much, but you need to understand that the banks have here orders placed. They're short orders, short and long orders, and they want to get rid of their long orders at that moment because they want to go short. And that means that exactly here could be a big order, and this is that one order which they came right now to mitigate, not perfectly, somewhere in this zone. So this is the zone where their order could be, and they want to close that one order, and this is what we expect short, and we want to go with them short at that moment. Okay, and we understand that there's Asia liquidity, and they would just use the Asia liquidity to bring the price back down, because all these retailers or the other hedge funds and so on, they've been positioned themselves here in a short position here down like this. They made this step-by-step mitigation, and now there is a ton of orders which they are liquidating with this up move, and that one up move will lead then automatically to bring the price back down, because if their intention right now is then to go bullish, then they want to bring price down lower to mitigate again some short position so that they can buy more long positions at that moment, and they want to get rid of their buy positions that they have there and to put it down here. Okay, that's kind of the theory about what they're doing here in reality, and what we can trade the way and how we trade. Cool. So we got the supply zone up there. Here we got the Asia liquidity within that range. That's the important thing. So what we're doing is we came to the M1 to understand what price is doing, because we know price is about to open up, and with the next candle it's opening up the Frankfurt session. Now your first option when you look at this scenario here is you could just go, you understand this is an relevant supply zone, you could just go here with a risk type of entry at the top on the M1. Don't need to look for more things, or you come straight to the 5 seconds and you'll look here for some confirmation. But as you can see, the range is big on the 5 seconds as well, so you won't need to see a break here or here depending on how aggressive you are in this case. I would just wait in this case because M1 is super bullish, M15 substructure is bullish, so many things just speaks against you. The only thing which speaks for you is the Asia liquidity, which is a big point for this, and that price could still go lower because of the 4 hours. So you can see not too many things are good for you in this case. So what I would expect, or what I would wait for, is at least an M1 BOS, because the M1 BOS could change anything here. So you're looking for that one. And as you can see, price has given you that one M1 BOS right up here. And here things will change. Because M15, we understand it's bullish, and it needs to break actually this before price could really go bearish, right? With the bearish substructure flow. So it's still far away. That means it just needs some mitigation as well, you know. So you could go here, the ID could have been really pretty cool to just go aggressively at the top, because you just understand what liquidity is, and you can just expect price to come down lower. If you want to go for more confirmation style, and that's what I recommend, is definitely just wait for the M1 BOS, and then you're just trying to get involved at the supply zone to just get your position up there, and that's kind of the best thing what you can do. So you can see here, nice consolidation. That's super interesting what price is doing here, because that's your supply zone up here. That's the one that led to the break of structure. Here you can see a ton of liquidity, and you can see how price here did not break something. In fact, it grabbed this liquidity from here. Here you have a demand zone, which price used to bring it back up, but it didn't broke it here with a continuation. So more than likely on the M1, that's kind of your swing structure, of course. So it's still risky that if you use it like that, I would include the M15. So it's of course kind of risky, but this price action here, this kind of ping pong play that price is offering here, is just showing you, okay, where BOS, right? You can see how this movement exactly from here precisely broke structure here. And that's what makes it here a valid BOS for me. And that shows me that this whole range here is the real supply, and price is ready to drop down, and you could just go down up here in the supply zone with a quick short. You can go on the 5 seconds for sure, 5 seconds, perfectly, exactly there. That will be your first opportunity to get short today on EURUSD. It was a little bit, how should I say, risky because of the M15 is not on your side, but as I said, if the M15 is not in your side, then you need to wait for the M1 BOS. And if you get it, then you can go for it. Go for your 20 pips as always. It's cool. It's pretty cool to do that. In this case, you need to understand that the M15 demand zone is right up here. And you also need to understand that at this point, yeah, I mean, it already mitigated right within the up move. It already got mitigated. So this one here already mitigated the demand zone. So this move here already mitigated the demand zone, which is a good indicator in this case that the demand zone will not hold. This is the demand zone. You can see how it's already reacting. It reacted off of here. In reality, okay, the M1, there is where they have the first position. Right now, it's reacting off of it again. Still, go for the 20 pips in a situation like this. But I would recommend in a situation like this to put also the stop loss to break even so that you're safe of it. Okay? But it's cool because it already looks while it created this demand zone, it already looked like, okay, it's mitigated. The first part of it, it looks like this will not really hold too much. That's how we just view it. So you're letting it run, and you understand that, oh yeah, London will kick in as well. So you're in this position right now, and you expect right now London to do something. So you're just waiting to understand what the 5 minutes are doing. Nothing really special. It just continued to broke structure. We still have a little bit left. Boom. 2 minutes before it went lower. Again. I need to put that to 20. And the opening. What is our interpretation right now? Our interpretation is, okay, we come closer and closer, or we tapped right now in the demand zone of the M15, the lowest low possible. We are completely bearish. Okay, M1 is totally bearish. It continued to follow the bearish trend, so you can see it broke this here, it broke that one here as well. Now that is not that relevant for me, but this is for me right now relevant, because from here it pushed back up, it's dropping down lower, it's continued to go bearish. And now the idea is we want to get involved here in a short, because the London Open is bearish. Okay, it completely dropped the price down. It broke here, specifically this one, and that means, okay, we want to look for some supply zones, which is in this one. Okay, you can view this whole thing as a one, but here's the same kind of thing. That was a supply zone which was mitigated within that one, and of course you have something up here. This one is already mitigated, but you could still see the extreme getting mitigated, but not really too interesting for me, because here you have again liquidity. So you can see many opportunities, and this is where it can get confusing in this kind of situation. Now what you can do is you just wait for price to return to it. This one looks good. It's right now not in a good how should I say, not in a good POI, but still could work out, because it's right the one before the opening, so 3 minutes before, so it just makes sense. As I said, always the 5 minutes are for me relevant, so everything starts here. This one is clean mitigated, so you can just look for this, to be honest. And you're waiting for price to tap into it. This is not a valid tap or something. You can also see price did not even create a bullish substructure or something, nothing. It taps into it, and again, it didn't broke structure to the upside. So you can see how here, what I mean by that is, look here, liquidity, right? Grab liquidity, boom, liquidity grab. So not even a bullish substructure or something. And here is the interesting point. This is your confirmation right now. You can see how price created bearish substructure. So that means you need to look for some short opportunities, and you expect price to come back to your supply zone and to give you a reaction off of it so that you can go short. That's basically it. That is the price action. This is how price is developing. You can see here your step-by-step mitigation. Important is to understand, okay, we got BOS, so you need to look for something. So come here on the 5 second, guys, to understand why you can get involved into these trades. The first one possible is if you have this bias and you want to go here short and you want to be a little bit risky. You understand this is your 5 second supply zone, so you could just jump into it here with your 1 pip stop loss. Now, as I said, I always would like to protect more than likely the high. That won't mean you will not get involved into this trade. So difficult situation in this case, how you will proceed here. Plus you don't have 5 seconds confirmation itself. You just have nothing at that point here. Your confirmations where they start is specifically here after we broke this kind of thing, and you understand that this is a V shape at the top, and you understand, hey yo, this is my 5 second supply zone, and this is exactly the moment when you can get here in your trade. You got even nice liquidity, and this is how I would do it. So you can see whenever the price is not offering you a 1 pip stop loss, probably that's not the real POI that you should pick up, which is this one. Okay, so this is the right trade that you need to look for. Now, what do we say is 20 pips? But keep in mind, if you go always like that, that does need to work out every single time. But you want to see right now where the M15 is, so that you know how far can it really drop. Because the situation here is like that. You got demand zone here on M15, and you got this one. And you understand here on the Euro USD, the price could go bullish because of here, because of we broke this. So this is the potential, oh sorry, not like that. So this is a potential bullishness on the market that we can expect, because of here it really shifted, you know. More than likely we want to see price coming all the way back down here, and now the idea is what will it do, because it mitigated this. It could go down lower. This is the only demand zone at the extreme of this range that is relevant for us. This one is not relevant for us anymore because it's mitigated. So we want to come into this. We understand that this is liquidity. So we should understand at the time, okay, this is a potential target for us while we could close our trade. Okay, so you can come then to the M1 to refine that one as well. And you understand here, this is your demand zone right here. So your trade that you took early on needs to get closed here. Plus you understand that you have here nice liquidity, and this could be then can be again a nice longing opportunity. So M1 range mitigation, which taps into a 5-second supply zone, and you let it play. Price taps into it, and then you can close it, and you need to close it. You need to understand that it's important to close the first trade here, or to put the stop loss at break even. The reason for that is because you tapped into an M15 demand zone, and this demand zone will push the price potentially to the upside. Here you see it pretty clear. M15 is bearish. M15 closed below this here. Okay, this is where it closed below. It also closed below here. I'm not sure right now if you will see also the data as well, but important for you is that it closed here. So that means the substructure is bearish. This means it closed below the bullish leg in this moment, okay, which is good. That it could mean that price will continue to go bearish. So you can anticipate then, okay, price will potentially push down here or something, okay, or lower into this. Don't know. Great. So the next movement, what the M15 will do is mitigation. So that's what you expect, mitigation of the M15 supply zone. Of course, you don't need to expect that, because price could just go crazy and more to the downside without giving us proper mitigation. That's possible, you know. But in this situation, of course, it does make a lot of sense that price will reverse all the way back up. So in this situation, you need to close it, or you put it at least to break even, and then you're going to follow the next potential movement of the market to understand what kind of opportunities you get. So here at the time, I just waited. Okay, I just waited, because right now what you can do is you can wait for M1 BOS, and you understand this is your bearish structure, so it needs to break something so that you can expect long, because you are in demand zone, so you could look for longs. And this is the interesting thing right now. Interesting thing here is the price within this bearish structure. Okay, let me draw it nicely. Here we understand that price has broke this. This is the substructure within this swing structure. So you could look at the demand zone for some long opportunities because price is right now here back bullish. And this is valid until price will break something. So here you go on the 5 seconds as well to identify some levels. Here in this case, clean liquidity. This is more than clean liquidity. You just need to use the extreme. Okay, this is how you could trade this. You come here, press long with 1 pip, and you need to close, of course, in the M15 supply zone. That's super important. M15 supply zone starts here. It starts there. It comes till here to the upside. And you need to understand which zones are relevant right now for me. Now, this could be still a relevant supply zone. That will be included 20 pips. Or you use, for instance, this wick here. Now, the wicks get interesting in this case because you are in a supply zone. But you don't know which one the price will use. You just know it needs to come here in this level. And then you look on the reaction of it. That's it. So you understand here in this case, I would just view it like that. Use the whole supply zone here and understand that this is a supply zone. But you understand that it needs to come anyway till here. That makes automatically this supply zone right now here, or this, which was the reality, which was the responsible for this move down, makes it automatically invalid because the demand zone starts already above it. So you can actually only use this wick here. And this is why you expect price to come up higher. And you can see here, okay, price is even offering me here nice liquidity for the market so that I can really expect price to come up higher here. Boom. And it tapped into the supply zone. So this is the first tap. This is the liquidity tap. And we got still here BOS, what we need to expect. And I will close it right up here like that. So I would, the best situation, you close it here. Okay, so that you're rid of this position. Or you're closing it here. Because this is counter trend and you expect right now here at this level, price will reverse potentially. So now that was the idea. What I was looking for is I understood that price from here can go lower because we are in M15 bearish substructure supply zone. I come to the 5 seconds to understand where it will get valid to go bearish. And I'm not looking here specifically for M1 BOS. Why? Because I'm super aggressive due to I understand we're anyway in a supply zone. I'm in a refined M1 zone. Okay. I took liquidity on the M1, which is great. Even this is super much liquidity that we can spot here. So this is just additional confirmation for me. The only thing which speaks against me is this zone up here. But this zone does need to be relevant for me because also here, as you can see, the real BOS from the structure here started from here. And that makes my supply zone here the best. Automatically makes the one that is interesting for me because I always want to see the one supply zone that broke significant structure. And in this case, it broke the whole structure. It also broke this, which was responsible for the whole up move. And this is why this one is definitely the one where I expect that one institution is here involved who wants to bring the price back down. If I'm not sure about it, I can wait for the M1 boss here to give me extra confirmation. I would just say, you know what, you just wait for the 5-second confirmation and that it's more than enough. And here is another level which is also valid for you. So to just wait for this boss here and then you go bearish. That's cool. So that's what I was waiting for. So I was waiting for price to come lower to break this kind of thing here. And here, the moment when price came here, it was already valid to go short, you know. So price should just come to a supply zone that I like, that makes sense, and I will just look into it to go short. And in this case, you can see price, step-by-step mitigation down lower, supply zone, then you got here the other supply zone. Now you can decide by yourself in the situation how you're going to use it, because you have liquidity here. Okay, you got here nice liquidity. You could now do it in two options. Option number one is you use it like that, and that's how I used it, because I didn't include the wick. The wick was right now really the mitigation itself and to fill in this gap. The real pressure started from the close, came back. So if you're not sure about it, you can do it like that. But I know in many situations how it worked out that the wicks are not always relevant. In some situations, yes, they are. In this kind of context, it's right now not that relevant. This is why I decided to use it like that, because I always want to go with my 1 pip. I see that there is liquidity. I see that price here at the moment will even break the M1, but here it didn't break the M1. That was just the M1 structure, but it got broken by the 5 second. Now that is not relevant for us right now, to be honest. Only afterwards it will be relevant. And yeah, then I'm waiting. I got involved in interest rate. Price is pushing instantly down lower, and on the M1 we got the BOS. And as you can see, afterwards, no really option right now on the M1 to look for something to get involved into a trade, because price is just moving too aggressively then to the downside, and you have absolutely no real chances to get involved into this trade. In this case, only here with this. But where are you going to use right now? This whole big supply zone? I guess not. Are you going to use it like that? I would not recommend that. So it's tricky. So that was for me the only option on the 5 seconds to get the real short entry. And here the same kind of thing. We go for a 1 to 20 because this is kind of the London movement which is still taking place here. Okay, that's the move down. So this is the London Bank, which is responsible for this whole price action. So you can see pretty clear that 5 minutes before, which is here, they started to push down. They collected here liquidity, and then exactly from where they started, it's here, they are continuing with an step-by-step mitigation lower. That's the cool part of it. So I decided to go for a 1 to 20, something like that, and I just close it somewhere down below in this demand here. Then it was like 20, I don't know right now how far. 22.9 was the risk reward that I took. So more than likely tapped here into this one demand zone. Exactly. So perfectly here in this is what price tapped. So again, at the lowest low possible, really at the extreme. So you know the price likes extremes. This is where it tapped into it. I should have been holding it till there. I just closed a little bit early on. Okay, here at 557, 576. Here you can see again so much liquidity speaking against you. So this is definitely the reason why it could bring you back up. Yeah, that's it. So these opportunities, everything totally valid with a lot of confirmation. Now the first one here, you could have been holding it till here, totally valid. I would here in this case same recommend to close here because M15 demand can speak against you. And here you can see on that 15 seconds right now, or in M1 where we are, how perfectly price created the mitigation. This is how the mitigation on the M1 looks like, and all these BOSs and anything. So like this here, this BOS here can confuse many people because they would say, okay, it's back bullish, but that BOS is not to explain you in this situation, okay, the M15 will switch or something, or you need to look for a buy here, because that's what the SMC traders are doing. They see the M1 boss here, okay, so they see that one M1 boss, and they think they need to go bullish. And this is exactly why it cannot work out, because you need to understand on M15, and this is why we follow M15 like that, is we want to go bearish. We want to go bearish. It's still bearish, so price, the outcome could be bearish. Only at the extremes. were interesting here in demand zone for a boss to look then right afterwards for an entry, and this was our entry. You can even see how it wicked, so it really shows that institution got involved into the trade, and this is why they brought it all the way back up. But you need to understand that it needs to close here because you are in the M15 supply zone, and then it dropped down. So super important stuff that I explained to you here. Hopefully you understood it. If there are still any questions, feel free to ask me, but more than likely that's it. And if you understand this piece of price action, guys, then you will rock the whole next couple of months and so on, because this is how market looks like, how it works at the end. Very detailed, and this is the way on how I'm using it, and this is my way of process of thinking. As you can see, 4 trades possible. I only took 1 of these. Yeah, still cool, still happy, but it could have been much more. But yeah, that's how the strategy is at the end. It's so simple, but at the same time so difficult. Okay, thanks guys, and see you then in the next videos and in the Discord, of course.